Coming from Netherlands, heartwarming story of the 9-year-old girl by the name Babs that receives a piglet as a birthday gift and needs to prove to her rather dull and boring parents that she is mature and responsible enough to take care of her new pet/friend. Also, the little fellow, piglet, not the girl, farts and shits all over the place quite a lot, making the whole task nearly impossible if not with the help of Bab's grandpa, who suddenly showed up out of blue without any warning after being gone to the United States for a quarter of the century, which is 25 years. Hello and welcome to Darkroom Streaming. This is what we do, search the world for highly rated shows and movies that you've probably never heard of but are well worth your attention, and bring them to our platform where you can enjoy those gems absolutely free. Link in description. This time we will talk about wonderfully executed stop-motion animation from our friends in the Netherlands called Oink. The original title is Knor because this is apparently how people interpret the sound that pig makes. Interestingly enough, it turns out that when it comes to the perception of animal sounds by people speaking in different languages, it gets pretty weird. And if the pig situation is quite intuitive, take a look at the horse case, with, for example, Polish "Yee-ha", Romanian "Ni-ha-ha", and Russian "Yi-go-go". It all sounds like some joke where three horses walk into a bar. Anyway, the first feature-length Dutch stop-motion is full of heart and sets milestones in the world of Dutch animation. It is nominated for the European Film Award and has won the Cinekid Award for Best Dutch Children's Movie. With 5 nominations and 3 Golden Calves at the Netherlands Film Festival, it makes a strong entry for the Best Animation Feature at the 2023 Oscars coming soon. Movie opens with a scene from the past at the city tournament for the best Frankfurt sausage maker, where at the finals it appears that one of the competitors cheated. The opponent, obviously not being happy with such an encounter, starts a fight and both of the finalists get banned from participation for 25 years. Later, film takes us to the present, introducing 9-year-old, energized, kind, cute and enthusiastic girl Babs, who lives with her parents in a little house with a kitchen garden and a wooden cabin serving as a hideout and play spot. Babs likes to skateboard, cook, is vegan and most of all dreams of a dog. Her dad is extremely allergic to dogs, making girls' wish unattainable. Life feels as sad and pale as it can get for the kid with an achievable dream. This is the moment when a stranger shows up at their house and things take an unexpected turn. Whole Bab's family starts to act noticeably awkward around the newcomer, who turned out to be her grandpa, that at some point left his daughter Margaret, Bab's mother, behind and moved to the US for better good. Now all of a sudden he is back after spending enough time in America to start looking like the European vision of stereotypical Americans. A cowboy in a cowboy boots, cowboy hat, playing banjo and traveling with WD-40 in the suitcase. We had a good laugh at it, especially comparing to stereotypical Russian, villager casually drinking vodka from the bottle, which actually is closer to reality than banjo-playing cowboy. Grandpa Tootis received pretty cold welcome upon arrival, especially from Aunt Christine, who was there 25 years ago for Margaret when her father disappeared, and strongly convinced that the man is up to no good. However, he is returned, being nice, trying to recover his reputation in daughter's eyes, being particularly friendly and supportive to his granddaughter Babs, and maybe he is changed for better. Who knows? Attention, spoilers! Well, not exactly spoilers, it's just when you're talking about animation for children, it is not that complicated of a story to start with. Kids watched it, enjoyed it a lot, had a good time. Score: it delivers bright picture, right amount of character development and level of emotional strain to keep younger audience engaged and entertained, providing great subject to talk about afterwards. If you are one of those parents that cares enough to be preoccupied with what your kids watch and would have a conversation about thoughts, observations and conclusions of a young fellow. But one of the things with simple, kind, educational, relevant kids stories is that when you watch them as an adult, eventually you realize that a lot of the times they're wrapped in the complicated multi-layer structure of life situations that simply don't yet find correlation in child's mind but will strike you hard as a grown-up. As an example, that one scene from Tom and Jerry when at the gate of heaven doorkeeper welcomes kittens in the wet bag. Remember that? I'm not crying, you crying. Same thing is applicable with the Knorr movie. Not without relevance to the sausage-making competition agenda and quarter-century ban from it, the old man shows up to reunite with family, executing a rather consistent job. As most of the typical, I'd say even normal in this case scenario, grandparents, he wants to spoil and spend quality time with his granddaughter, but also being ready and willing to sit down with daughter Margaret and talk through the past misbehavior, misunderstanding, and questionable decisions, not to undermine that partially reason for that is early death of Margaret's mother. Babs doesn't understand the depths of the past and slowly gets warmer with the visitor. Soon enough comes her birthday, and at the top of her priority list is, as mentioned before, a puppy. Unfortunately, it is absolutely a no-go considering her father's severe dog allergy. Grandpa steps in and instead of the puppy takes Babs to the farm and gets her a piglet. At this moment, if you're older than 10-12 years old, you can guess the direction where satire will follow, considering pig in the household sausage contest and Tweety's ban from one finally coming to an end. It is pretty obvious. That one character I wanted to mention is Babs' father. I don't know if that is some sort of a Dutch stereotype of a Dutch husband, but seriously, that image is sad. Guy is pale, irrelevant, lost in space, only preoccupied with solving crossword puzzles, being kicked around by Margaret and Aunt Christine, and somehow expected by Margaret and Aunt Christine to be an authority in Babs' educational process. What? You see where I'm heading with this? You need a bad guy like Grandpa for kids' story narrative and it serves the purpose just fine. I'm not taking that away at all. With that said, the movie provides us with enough background story to realize that it is not a one-dimensional, straightforward situation. Considering that banjo cowboy with a dead wife is not a material for the role of corner-sitting, puzzle-solving shade of a man being bossed around by Aunt Christine. It isn't that big of a mystery with Grandpa's sausage competition intentions, but when they got a pig in the house, it came time for Babs to take responsibility as a pet owner, act mature enough to maintain order as much as she can, negotiate with parents in situations when animal misbehaved, and provide solutions as part of the process. Just like when she came with an idea of taking Oink to the dog class. Didn't sound too promising at first, yet patience, dedication, and consistency proven to be the key. With all that stress and burden suddenly taking over the life of a 9-year-old, it appears that Grandpa Tuitius has been there as a negotiator and supporter noticeably more relevant than the rest of the family. So is he that bad of a character at the end of the day, or maybe they should have tried to talk the situation through? Anyway, you can watch it for free at Darkroom Streaming and decide for yourself. And now I have to go. Ciao!
Komen zitten, blijven als de baas het zegt. Ja, die knorretje, die kan het allemaal.
Wat is er dan?
Ja, die knorretje, die kan het allemaal.
Lolly! Doe wat! Doe wat!
Ja?